Hey guys, today's video is all about design considerations for the plus size market. Several subscribers have asked me to do this video. Several subscribers have also asked me to do a video on how to draw larger croquis, so that video will come out later this summer. Before I get started, one word of warning. Any sort of fat shaming, body shaming, anti-body positivity, misogynistic commentary will be deleted immediately. And those kinds of attitudes and comments have no place on my channel. This is a space for learning about design. And what I want to talk about today is how to design for a specific market. And if you don't want to learn about this or you don't like this particular market, you can just not watch this video and move along. Okay? Someone does not have to have universal appeal for them to deserve cute things to wear. There are bodies and aesthetics and genders and, that we all prefer over others, and they all deserve cute things to wear. Okay? So we're going to be talking about the plus size market in this video. For the record, I've never designed for the plus size market, but I've been bigger than I am now and I've been smaller than I am now, thanks to students who keep bringing me delicious snacks. Thanks a lot, you guys. And so I've shopped plus size market before. I've shopped not plus size market before. So I speak from a designer's point of view and also from a consumer's point of view. Seriously, guys, if you're going to bring me snacks, can you bring like carrot sticks or something? Also, you don't need to bring me snacks. Like, you're adorable, but I actually don't need you to bribe me. I will still help you. I want to start by clarifying some of the terminology that I use. Number one, I like the term fat, round, tall, big. I like large. I like these terms much more than the term overweight. I don't like these sort of comparison terms like overweight because it insinuates that there's a weight you should be at, and if you are more than that, you are overweight. I also don't care for the term plus size. I use it because it's the understood term. I would much prefer if there were a better term or a different way of looking at larger size women's garments, but this is the way that people understand what I'm talking about. So currently I use the term plus size, but I don't like the term plus size, especially because it is innately misogynistic. You don't see men's plus size. Okay? Men's sizing is done by actual measurements. Men buy shirts by their neck and sleeve length, and they buy pants by their waist and inseam. Whereas for the most part, women have to buy clothes based on what a size 2 is, or what they think a size 8 is, or what they think a size 18 is. And there is no governing body that says, hey, everybody, every design house in the world, you need to make sure that your size 16s mean this measurement chest, this measurement waist. There's nothing like that. There's no regulation. I'm almost positive that every woman, at least in the US, has at least 3 different number size clothing in their closet that they actually wear on the regular, because brands just decide willy-nilly what the sizing is. And that's why every time you shop online, you have to go look up their size chart to make sure that their size 6 is a 6 that they knew from before. Sure, in a weird backwards way, it inspires some kind of brand loyalty because you're like, I'm just going to go ahead and shop at J. Crew because I know what their size 8 is. And I don't want to shop over there because I don't know their fit. Okay? But a lot of that has to do with the fact that there are these arbitrary size number assignations. And so you have this sort of arbitrary set of sizes where people have decided these are normal sizes and these are plus sizes. Whereas with men, they're not normal and plus. They're just their waist measurement, their inseam, and their actual bodies. And sure, men have big and tall stores, but again, that kind of labeling is not a comparison labeling. It's just descriptors. I also hate the phrase, real women have curves. Long story short, women come in all shapes and sizes. Accept it, get over it, move on. You don't need to be exclusionary to feel better about yourself. Next. So I began preparing for this video by thinking, what are the biggest concerns around plus size design? And I came up with a few of the most major questions that you need to address as a designer when you are designing for this market. Number one, plus size stuff is really frumpy right now because society thinks that larger women cannot be as sexy as smaller women. The media portrays two kinds of fat women. You have the fat women who sit on the couch eating potato chips all day long, wearing some sort of leisure suit or leggings or giant caftan. Or on the opposite extreme, you have the luscious, bombshell, hourglass pinup girls who are large and round but show no fat in the face. And they're these perfect little pinup girls who are supposed to represent all fat women. What about all the people in the middle? Number two, plus size stuff doesn't fit right because people automatically assume that you just need to grade up in a general fashion and then that'll fit. But that is really not the case. Number three, stuff is poorly made because there's no competition out there to encourage people to make better things. Competition is necessary. There are a lot of plus size women out there, and there are very few manufacturers who are catering to that market. And because plus size women are so limited in their choices, they'll just buy whatever they can get. That is the sad truth. At this point, honestly, I do believe that if you come up with a plus size line that is reasonably cute, reasonably priced with reasonable quality, you'll still be, head and shoulders above the rest. You'll make a killing. Number four, and this ties in with media representation, but plus size models in the media are typically a size 8 or 10, which is not anywhere near plus size, especially in the US where the national average is a size 12. Most people, including designers, have no idea what a size 18 actually looks like. And number five, by the way, what the hell does a size 18 look like? Who decides what a size 18 is? So these are some of the main problems that I kind of wrote down to think about. And if you're interested in designing for this market, I encourage you to think about these issues yourself. So let's tackle a few of these. Number one, stuff is frumpy because society doesn't think that fat women can be as sexy as not fat women. Which leads to the question, what do plus size women want? Which is stupid because plus size women want exactly the same things that not plus size women want. They want clothes that look cute. They want clothes that look cute on them. They want clothes that are cute and fit their bodies. And they want these clothes to make them feel good. And they want these clothes to not cost a car payment. Okay, those are the basic wants pretty much every woman has in their clothing. Now, everyone's definition of what is cute is different, and that's why we have so many different brands out there. Some people are very androgynous and tomboyish, and some people are super girly, and some people are, more niche, like, gothic Lolita looks, or just straight up goth looks, whatever, right? Your definition of cute is different depending on your aesthetic, but that's basically what it boils down to. You want stuff that's cute, looks cute on you, it fits you okay, it does not cost you an arm and a leg. That's everyone, regardless of size. So for the purposes of brevity, you can approach plus size design in one of two categories. You can think about your clothing in terms of what is figure flattering. There are a lot of brands out there that are more concerned with sort of more classic looks, where the fit is really the key and people are more invested in what makes their bodies look good, more classic looks, nothing too avant-garde, nothing too strange in the silhouette, nothing too very trendy, but classic, figure flattering, pretty things they can wear season after season. I always want to encourage women to feel comfortable in their bodies and to feel beautiful in their bodies. But the reality is that we all have flaws or most of us have flaws that we want to kind of minimize, and things that we like that we want to highlight. And so your design approach can be about that, where maybe you want to address making hips look smaller, making breasts look larger, making waist look smaller, whatever your niche is, working with that to create more figure flattering looks. Or you can go down the path where it's really strictly about the design aesthetic. Okay? Like right now, the 70s are in style. The 70s influence is a big thing. And that kind of look, those silhouettes, those colors, they're not great for every figure and every skin tone. But if you're the kind of designer where you are catering to a market that is more trend driven and not really figure flattering driven, that's awesome. So go make those bell bottoms, go make those giant collars, because you are catering to those women who just want to be as hip and trendy as the rest of their smaller girlfriends. So you have those two approaches, more figure flattering or more trend or aesthetic driven. There's a group of people who think that all fat women either only seek out figure flattering clothes or should only seek out figure flattering clothes. Just stop it right now. Number 2, stuff doesn't fit right. Okay. This is a big issue, and this is a big issue involving, much more than just the plus size market. My focus is plus size women, but this is a bigger problem than that. Pattern making has almost gotten to a point where it's a lost skill. More and more people are resorting to stretch, to knits, to leggings, to cover up a multitude of sins that they can address with good pattern making. People gain weight in different ways. The larger a person gets, the more significant the body shape differences become. And you see this all the time. You will see two people who are the exact same weight who have completely different bodies in terms of muscle mass and fat distribution. Some women gain all their weight in their hips and thighs. Okay? Some women gain more of their weight in their upper bodies. So you can take two women who both gain weight in their hips and thighs, and if a woman gains 5 pounds in their hips and thighs, then maybe the difference isn't that noticeable. But if a woman gains 20 pounds and it's mostly in her hips and thighs, then that difference is something that you need to address in the pattern making. So women getting bigger, gain weight in different areas, altering the overall shape of their bodies and not just a general getting largerness. What do you do about that? Don't look at me. No, you as a designer, what do you want to do about that? Because it is impossible for you to just make clothes that are just a blanket size to fit all these people that aren't all super stretchy. Like, yeah, ones, you can make leggings that'll fit, this size bracket, and it's fine. But not all clothes can be leggings. My recommendation to you is to kind of set up categories of fit. You can decide on your customer. Say, my customer is women who gain weight in their upper bodies. Okay? They gain weight in their upper arms and in their breasts and in their upper stomachs. And so I'm going to cut my patterns to address this fit issue. I'm going to create styles that flatter this kind of body. And that's going to be part of the pitch. That's going to be what I address to people. It's like, look, my stuff is super stylish, but secondly, I also focus on cutting my patterns and my fit to this kind of body. Because when you design for the plus size market, I don't think that you can remove your understanding of bodies from the design. As your company gets bigger, maybe you can add different categories. Like now we're going to do a branch where it's all about women who have larger hips. I'm going to cut my patterns for this. And I'm going to create styles that cater to this kind of customer. There are big brands like The Gap who are doing a little bit of this with their pants. Like if you go to Old Navy and you'll see in their jeans section, they have different fits where they say, well, this fit is slimmer through the thigh and about, medium rise. And this kind of jean is looser around the butt and thighs and is a low rise or, what have you. Okay. And they describe the different fits. You go to Banana, they have the same thing with their trousers. And so bigger brands, they're starting to do that, but I think that you can do more with that than what is currently on offer. Because I don't believe the future of fashion is fashion, but clothing. People want clothes that really get as close to their personalized needs without paying for made to order. There are increasingly more niche markets out there. Like first it was, I'm going to create clothing for this age bracket of guys, youngish guys, 20s and 30s. Okay. And then it became, I'm going to create this line for guys who are in their 20s and 30s. They're work clothes, they're casual, but not business casual, and they're not like showing up in jeans and t-shirts. So something that looks a little bit nice, but they can wear it to the office, but it's not as dressy as business casual. And then you have this other niche within that group. I'm going to create work clothes for computer geeks. And then you've got another niche within that niche saying this group of clothing is for gay guys who work in software. So they're geeky, but they're a little bit stylish and then, like a little bit more color than your average software geek. Like niche, 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 niche. And the future of fashion is addressing all these niche markets with clothing that really works for each niche market. Seriously, you guys, the future of fashion is not skin suits. Regardless of what a million costume designers in a million futuristic films will have you believe, we're not going to all dress like Lilu. We are not going to dress like Star Trek. We're probably all still going to wear normal clothes that do not follow every hair follicle on our bodies. So you're going to design for your plus size customer the same way you would design for a not plus size customer. You will get to know your customer and what they want and get to know their bodies and what fits them the best. And you're going to cater to that customer. But you really need to understand your customer and your bodies more than your average designer. Okay. That requires you to get probably several different fit models and a really good pattern maker. A lot of people make this mistake where they just get one fit model and they have like a size medium and they fit everything on this person and then they do a grade rule. A grade rule is when there's a set of measurements that say our chest is for the medium is a 36 and so a large is +2 and an extra large is +4 and that's a grade rule, okay, where it shows how much bigger each measurement gets as you grade the sizes up and down. But I am someone who thinks that you should get several fit models, maybe not for every single fitting, but for especially when you're establishing your grade rule and somewhere along the way you should be fitting like maybe a small, medium, or large. Or if you're doing number sizes, maybe a 14, an 18, and a 22. So you get more of a range of how these patterns are fitting different bodies. So yeah, the number one need to address is how bodies change and how you need to work with fit models and pattern makers so that your stuff fits better. and then to communicate why your fit is different to women so that they can find you. Stretch fibers and knits are magical, beautiful inventions, and I applaud the wonderful men and women who have devoted their careers to the development of these technologies. But they cannot do everything. They cannot design everything. You cannot wear leggings to everything. Okay? And so those things will only take you so far. It's probably why leggings got so popular to begin with, because everything was super low rise, poorly fitting jeans. And that the lower rises ended up giving even really thin girls muffin top, and then whale tail and coin slots. And you know, we don't need to see that. Okay, it's called underwear for a reason. Okay? And so people were like, well, I don't want muffin top. Okay. And so people started resorting to more and more stretch, and that's why leggings happen. That's why jeggings happen. And this is where we are. So yeah, stretch, knits, all that good stuff. I love it. You can't use it for every single day. Selfishly, when I teach design, the things that I do impart on my students that come from me personally are things that are changes I would like to see in the fashion industry. For example, I would love to see more women's wear designers put more pockets in all their clothes. And so I encourage that as much as possible. It's like, hey, where are the pockets in these pants? Where are these pockets in these jackets? You know, is that pocket big enough where she could stick her whole hand in that? You know, I don't grade anyone down for having smaller pockets, but I mean, pockets are awesome. Give me some real pockets. You know, I love a big, extravagant haute couture masterpiece evening gown as much as the next girl. But in my everyday life, I like pockets that can fit my cell phone and my wallet. Another thing that, you know, if you let me, that I will rant about for a long time is vanity sizing and sizing differences between men and women's clothes. I would love to see women's wear designers actually put measurements of clothes on the size labels as opposed to these random numbers that don't make sense to me. I would like to see vanity sizing go away. What is vanity sizing? Vanity sizing is when you make a size 6, whatever the hell that is. You make a size 6 and you label it a size 4. So someone who comes along, tries on a 6, realizes it's too big, and they wear a size in a smaller number, and they're like, oh, that's awesome. I could fit in a smaller size in this brand. And people get into that, and they decide to visit that brand again because they want to feel thinner. They want to see that smaller number on their size tab. And yeah, it's an ego bump. I acknowledge that, but it doesn't really help you figure out your clothes. I am aware that there is vanity sizing in menswear. I shop enough for my husband to know that. And, you know, I would like to just, it's a weird thing. It's like, I know that for marketing purposes that vanity sizing is one of those things that's probably never going to go away. But I think that right now, that has kind of stretched to a certain amount of ridiculousness, and we need to get back to labels that give more factual information. There is a big hole in the market right now, in the plus size market. There are not a lot of people addressing fat women. And so it's this vicious circle of the media portraying fat women as frumpy, fat women not having clothing options to look less frumpy, and therefore the media portrays a certain level of reality because of limited clothing options for fat women. Okay. It's kind of like this vicious circle. Okay. So it's not that fat women have less style. It's that fat women have fewer options. To recap, if you want to design for the plus size market, here's what you need to do. You need to figure out your customer. You need to figure out what they want, what they look like, what their bodies look like, and address those needs. You need to get 2-3 fit models that really cater to your customer. Okay? Don't think about the runway. Don't think about editorials. Okay? Think about real clothing for your customer. Find fit models that are your customer, that look like your customer. Go find pattern makers that really know what they're doing with things that are not stretchy, that know how to fit, that know how to shape an armhole around women who gain weight in their upper bodies, or know how to pattern draft for larger butts and larger thighs for women who gain more weight down there. You need to figure out your labeling and your sizing and how to market who you're catering to. You need to move away from the mindset where you only design for figure flattery in mind, okay? But create a lot of silhouettes and let your customers decide what they want to wear. So yeah, you want to design plus size? Go talk to women. Go understand their bodies. Go talk to them about what they're looking for in their clothes, what fits good, what feels good, and what doesn't. Go find pattern makers that know what they're doing and make beautiful things. All right. Good luck. Have fun. Fashion's supposed to be fun, remember? And I will see you next time.